Well, it sort of started quite early on. Like I remember waking up at 6 years old and seeing what looked like a massive cockroach or something at the end of my bed, like an insectoid, and screaming out for my mother and looking back and it's still there. That's not a good thing. It should go away. Still
Right.
there. And by the time mum opens the door, okay, it disappears. And I'm like, that sort of took me back a bit being super young. I
Hmm.
noticed I started to get some electricity through my eyelids when I was about 12 or 13. But I think, the whole school, going to school and then leaving school and then getting married and having babies, I didn't really tune in because I was caught up in the rat race and the system of things. So it wasn't really until I was about 26 that when I got my first major visitation, when I realized this is not normal. So I had to sort of wake up quite quickly at 26 that something was going on.
Hmm.
Bearing in mind, though, I'd had some early Hindu time. I had some time with Krishna, Paramahansa Yogananda. And at the time that I got the visitation, I was actually studying with the Jehovah Witnesses. So I was very high on Christ consciousness, which is
Hmm.
quite a strong vibration in itself. It's very centered and very direct, and it's very heart expanding. So I was quite pumped up on Jesus when I got my first, real visitation from the Palladians. So that would have been about 1997. And then I sort of let it go, got caught up in the rat race again, real estate, did some high powered jobs. And then, yeah, I got another visitation. And then after that, I felt the calling. And I think it's the calling, it's the pull of being pulled out of everything that you're engrossed in, the rat race, and a pull to connect to my guides. And
Hmm.
then it just sort of developed after that. I just got more visitations, not so much from the Palladians, but it's almost like as I lifted and accepted who I was and what I was, the more freely they'd come to me and talk to me. Like I had a mantis visit. I've only really caught up with reptilians on the astral and battle. I haven't really chatted to one. It's always been full on in the astral if I'm confronted with a reptilian. But yeah, the mantis visitation was quite incredible. That was a changing point because it holographed into my lounge. So that's something else. Well, they really wanted me to know that this was real. It got to
Hmm.
the stage where I couldn't deny it anymore. The holograms were coming. Metatron's cube was getting beamed into my house. And then I was starting to realize what was from earth energy and what was from celestial divine energy from universe. The colors like neon is universal, and when you get into the greys and the mists, they're all earthbound creatures and
Hmm.
entities and ghosts. So it was a bit of a learning process. Um, but yeah, it's just not, there are other people out there that are having experiences that don't quite know what's going on. Like they might be receiving codes before they go to sleep at night, sacred geometry passing past their eyes. So they start to think, whoa, something's going on. And it'll be starseeds awakening, because that can be some of the first experiences they have, is just getting some vision behind the eyelids, whether it be sacred geometry or perhaps a visit, a Palladian
Hmm.
swooping up to their face and, being really inquisitive and looking, that's what the Palladians are very good. They'll send your main Palladian communicator to check you out and look you over and check your